Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the What's New in CourtReserve first release of 2024. Happy New Year to everyone. We have not done a webinar about new releases since November. So thank you guys for joining us today. We're excited to show you some of the stuff that we started 2024 with. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got Beth here with me today. She's going to be running the Q&A, so we'll pause throughout and just ask questions out loud and answer some stuff as we go along. So please feel free to drop questions in the chat. And we've got some cool stuff in store for you to showcase here at the end. So let's get started. Oops, sorry about that. I meant to start over here. The first thing we have that we wanted to talk about is that Catalyst is starting. We're doing Catalyst again in February. So we've got a few spots left. If you are interested in joining us and learning more about CourtReserve, definitely check out Catalyst. The registration link will be posted in the chat. So Catalyst will be February 19th through 21st in Holly Hill, which is Daytona Beach area here in Florida. So beautiful weather. Come learn more about CourtReserve and all of the offerings that we have in the platform. Kind of like CourtReserve Bootcamp. So our whole product team will be there. We'll be going over a lot of the features and new things that we've done since the last Catalyst. So definitely check it out. We hope to see you there. We're also going to be there's another mastermind coming up in March. So if you are opening a pickleball facility, you own a pickleball facility, you should definitely check out Mastermind. These guys, they really have the key to running a successful pickleball facility. So definitely check out the Mastermind next March or in March just to find out more about running your pickleball facilities. So what's new in CourtReserve for 2023? So we will jump right in here to all of the things that were released this past Tuesday, January 23rd. Jumping right into league updates, we released one rotation to 11 on our 4- and 5-person rotations. So you now have this option to do one rotation to 11. So this will help speed up play a little bit and, just kind of keep it moving as you go along. I know we have some organizations down here in Florida that it's hot. They just want to get people on and off the court quickly. So this will help you move right through on those rotations. The next thing we released is really exciting. It adds a time restriction to leagues. So I'm going to go through and kind of tell you how this feature works. So what we've done with the time restrictions is on the current flex leagues that we offer, we've given you the option to set match duration of each rotation. So the rotations will keep an efficient pace to keep courts on schedule. So as players, you can really put on this setting and then players are going to see that there is a time restriction here. It's not going to have a buzzer that goes off or anything like that. So players on the court do need to keep track of the time themselves. But it also allows, as you can see here, some more flexible scoring. So we'll get into that here in a second. So to go ahead and get this set up in your league, you can actually do this to leagues that you already have in place or league sessions that you already have going, or you can start a new league session with it. So the first thing you're going to see is now there's a setting under price type called time-based. Once you enable that setting, you're going to see a few additional other items pop up. The first one of those is the time limit in minutes. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to include the amount of time in here that you want each rotation to be. And then the next option that you see on here as well is limit max score. When you check off limit max score, you're going to get an option for max score. So all max score does is it limits the amount of points that a player is able to put into their score entry when they are going to enter their scores. So it kind of prevents somebody from, blowing someone else out of the water. So you can put a max score in there. And then once they get to that max score, that's the most number of points that they can reach for that rotation or for that session. So when you enable the time-based restriction, you're also going to notice that once you get down into your rotation types, we've taken away the scoring format in here as well. So you could just choose between the 1 rotation and the 2 rotation format. Now, when it actually comes time to looking at your game day cards, the only difference that you're really going to notice up front is this the chip up on the top and on the player side. We've changed it instead of 1 rotation to the number of points. It now says the number of rotations that you've chosen and the number of minutes that you've allowed for this rotation. Again, they do have to keep track of the time on their own. But as you can see here with the score entry, I've entered a max score of 15. So the players here have earned 15 points, but the players down here have earned 8 points. It's also going to give you the ability to accept ties. So this person down here is had a tie put in place. All that's going to do, it doesn't count as a win and it doesn't count as a loss. But how does this work with the total number of points? So each person, each round, this is the number of points possible that this grouping was allowed to win. So this round, these players could earn a possible 15 points. This round, these people were able to earn a possibility of 8 points. So you are going to end up with some people that have a different number of points, but the way the algorithm works in working on the percentages, it's still fair and efficient. So then once your game days are completed, you're looking at your standings table. So we've made a couple updates to the standing table here as well. You've got game days have played. So you're also now in the standing table going to see the number of game days that players have played. This is just across the board now, actually, for all leagues, not just with the time restriction, but any of your leagues are going to have these new columns here. You're also going to have the number of games that they played within this game day. And then we've also added a column for ties when you are using this setting for the time restriction. As you can see over here, the form here, you've got the wins and the losses. You also have the bubble for ties. So it is going to keep track of all of that information for your players. They'll be able to see this information on their standings table as well. With League Update, we've also given you a public league URL. So you can use this league for marketing purposes to direct your players directly to your registration pages. So a good way for your players to, or for your marketing materials, use this link on Facebook, use it in your marketing emails and things like that to direct your players right to leagues. Beth, I'm going to stop here. Did we have any questions that came in about the league updates?
No questions so far. Great job.
All right, moving right along. So the next thing we added to this release was within discounts. So we've got two new features that we've really released here with discounts. So the first one is going to exclude free reservations from your discounts. If you have courts that have a $0 rate, so they're courts that are free, but you're also using discounts. How the system used to work, or currently works without this setting, is if you have those free reservations, you're also using discounts, it's actually going to take those free reservations out of your discounts. So we've put this behind a setting so some people can still use it the way that it's been working, or you can use to pull these reservations out of that discounted time. But you can effectively give your members those benefits that you have with discounts, but also giving them those extras on maybe a couple of free events or reservations here and there. So to do that, you're going to go to your organization settings page in the booking settings row, discounts, and then the discount settings. You can also get there through any of these tabs here as well. Go ahead and check that off, and then this setting will take into effect. We've also added a discounts audit log here within the discount settings. So the audit log is super important. If you come into support questions or support chat, a lot of times with the questions that get asked, the first place that our staff goes is actually to the audit log, because a lot of times we want to check and see what kinds of questions or what kinds of changes have maybe been made, or the registrations and things like that. So we've actually given you an audit log here on the discounts pages as well. So it can be accessed actually from any of the 4 tabs up here across the top. So you can click that audit log button. It's going to filter down, drill down to all of those actions that were taken directly towards your discount settings. So anytime an action takes place on any of these pages, that's going to be reported. And then the last thing with discounts, so we've given you the ability to do discounts by day. This was a question that was coming up a lot, so we went in and ahead and added in that discounts per day. So now on reservations, events, and reservations and events, you now have a reservations and events per day, but each page will feature an option for you to add those additional benefits by day. All right, and then I wanted to talk about an update that we did with a couple of our transaction reports. So we've added drill downs to the end of day in our payment summary reports. So if you are looking at any of our really financial transaction pages, anytime you see one of these blue links here, this is going to note that this item is clickable. Okay, so you can now, so we already had this on another report, but you can now do this on the end of day report as well. So if you click any of these links, it's actually going to open up a modal drill down of everything that makes up that amount. So I really want to highlight the end of day report here now, having this ability. The end of day report is something that our team really feels like is underutilized. And so I just want to express, how you can use this end of day report now that it has this information and these drill downs. So you can actually use the end of day report to tie out your payment gateway. It's going to capture all of the edge cases that were there for preloaded balances. So if you're looking to really reconcile what you have in your payment gateway versus what came in CourtReserve, you can do that through the end of day report. So definitely make note of that and check that out. And with this drill down, you can also filter by system users and sub-admins. And it makes it really ideal also for shift closeout or balancing your cash store as well. So if you're looking to do that and you've needed that functionality, definitely take a look at the end of day report, because just this simple transaction drill down is going to do a lot for you. You don't have to go back to the transactions list and pull, different criteria for reports. We did it here as well. All right, and then going into notifications, we gave you the ability to really see who on your team is sending bulk messages. So if you're using bulk email, bulk text, and bulk push notifications, we've given you a column in any of those history tables. So you've got that button up in the top right corner when you get to bulk email. You're now going to see a sent by column. And then when you open up the view button, you're going to see who it was sent by here as well. So people, if you've got people in your organizations that have access to any of these bulk email, bulk text, and push notification functions, you can kind of keep an eye on who's sending what. And then if you need to go back to something, know who sent it later. Beth, I'm going to stop here for questions. Is there anything that needs to be covered as far as the last few items that we talked about?
We did have 2 questions come in about leagues.
Okay.
Would you rather answer those now or wait till the end?
Let me just take a look at those real quick.
Sure.
Oh, it's showing 0 for ties. I'll take a look at that screenshot. Yeah, it's showing 0 for ties, but there are ties in the bubbles for the path matches. That might have been a bad example to take a screenshot of. I actually did some backtracking on some of the information, but thank you for pointing that out. Definitely going to go take a look at that. Because if there were ties in there, yes, it should be showing up. But I had done some backtracking within that league that I took screenshots of. So we'll definitely double check and take a look at that. Thank you for that. And I was not able to put this in. My question is about scores in the leagues. Do you have to set up the top scores? The scores in the game day ends if so matches end due to time before reaching 11. So if a match ends due to time before reaching 11 and the score is 9-7, can you enter that? Yes. So with the max score, I will jump back to the leagues again real quick. The max score only limits the maximum number of points that you can put in here. So if my max score here is 15, but I try and enter 16, I'm actually going to get an error here that says the max score enabled is 15. So it'll only let them enter in up into a maximum amount of that score. You don't have to use the max score function if you want to. It really is just there for admins that might want to prevent somebody from getting like 30 points in one rotation or something like that. So it's totally up to you how you use it. But, down here, they only got 8-3. So you could enter a score that's less than 15 here. You're just not going to be able to enter one that's over 15. Hopefully that answers that question there. All right, so let's move through past the notification tracking option that we've added in here as well. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this update that we did. So within a reservation type, we offer you, if you're using split fees, we offer you the ability to split the fee responsibility based on each player based on membership. Okay, so what that does is it charges the cost or the fee per player based on the cost that you set for the court. Okay, so each person could end up paying a different amount of money depending on what your membership looks like. We had a scenario here where if you add a court and you have maybe 8 people playing together, it was actually doubling the fee that those players were playing because there were 2 courts. So what we've done is we've updated the logic based on this setting, just when you're specifically have this setting. So now it's only calculating each player per hour. It's not calculating each player per hour per court. So you can truly use it to charge for the specific, by cost by player, and really allow players to just pay that fee for the court when they're using more than one court. And then a couple other updates I wanted to mention that may not have necessarily been in the release notes that we put out, but when you're making a closure on a court, there's a setting towards the bottom. Once you've selected your courts, it basically says, what's your closure cancellation policy? What do you want to do with the courts that are on here? Do you want to cancel the reservations? Do you want to leave them here and do nothing? What do you want to do with them? This setting will now disabled, or I'm not sorry, not disabled. This setting will now default to blank and require you to make a selection, just kind of preventing errors and things like that from happening. So you are sure to select the option that you need from the list. It was defaulting to do nothing or something like that. So now you do have to make a selection there on the closure cancellation policy. We've also upgraded the fonts in the font library throughout CourtReserve. So under our website settings, we had a full library of fonts that applied to all of the fonts or the text within your member portal, but we hadn't actually extended that to different parts of the software's content editor. So what do I mean by a content editor? When you're editing your event description, when you're editing your league's descriptions, things like that. So anywhere that you're editing content, we didn't have the same fonts available as on the member portal. So we upgraded the font library just to make the fonts the same across the board. That way you can have consistent branding across the board when your members are looking at the member portal. And then the other thing that we updated here was the point of sale image uploader. So if you're using the point of sale, we had an image uploader in it that was a little bit antiquated. You had to have a very specific image size for it to work. It had to be a square. And so the new image uploader that we've added in here is very similar, or is the similar one to the profile pictures that we have in there now. So you can upload any image and crop it to a square. So you don't have to worry about figuring out how to resize the image outside of CourtReserve. You can just upload the image right into CourtReserve and we'll allow you to crop it to fit the proper sizing there as well. So pretty excited about that. Small things, but definitely makes a difference for people when they're setting up their platform. All right, so Beth, are there any final questions here? I was going to get into something else that I wanted to demo to everyone, but if there's no other questions, then I can go ahead. But was there anything else that came in?
Yes, we just had one come in about the update on court calls. Has that been implemented yet? We are not seeing it on our court sheet as of now.
Jayla, I will take a look at that and we'll double check on that. Thank you.
We had another one come in about when would other leagues be available?
Okay, sure. I'll take that question for sure. So the next iteration of leagues that we're currently working on is partner-based leagues, which is two-man teams. We're currently working on that right now. So that might be a little bit here before we get that fully out and available, but that is our next step with leagues. So definitely more on that coming soon, but be sure we're working on it.
We had one more about, did we add a new feature to display the courts for an event that is over multiple courts, but does not have players assigned to specific courts? Previously, when we had a group of 16 people assigned to an event over 4 courts, but there was no specific court assignment by player, it did not display which courts they were headed to. Now we're seeing a message that says on courts 1 + 3 more. For example, this just seemed to happen the other day. Is this a new feature?
It's not a new feature. That's actually been in place since about the fall. I want to say we released that in September or October. So it does say on the Who's Here Today screen which court that they are going, or is this on the kiosk? Was this on the kiosk? I'm not sure. If it's on the kiosk, I will have to check and see if that was released. I know we missed adding that feature on the kiosk. Yep, it's on the kiosk. Okay, so yes, we did add that when there's no court assignment specifically selected for them. It does tell them which court they're going to. If you go back in the background and you select the court assignment, then it's really the purpose is to just show them the first court that they're going to and still send them out to the court. So that was added to the kiosk because when we updated it on the Who's Here Today screen, we had missed that capability on the kiosk as well. So that's there as well. And then are we working on looking at tournaments anytime soon? It's definitely on our product roadmap for 2024. So definitely more to come on that sometime later this year, but we do have that as one of the things that we're looking at. Are these updates available now? Yes, the updates are available now. Everything that we're talking about here today was released on January 23rd, Tuesday this week. When do we expect leagues to include tennis? We'll look at that here pretty soon. We're also looking at different formats and things like that down the road that would be available to tennis. When we include tennis, we're gonna have to take a look at some other items with updating terminology and things like that. Part of the partner-based leagues piece that we're working on is the ability to do multiple games during a match. So you can be able to do things like incorporate tennis and things like that. Let me just take a look at some of the other questions in here. I run a round robin and players select what they want, when they want to play and on what court, then the report score. Can the system be used for me to track the scores? We might have to take that one offline, Lisa. You may want to take that into support questions. It just really depends on what you're looking to do. If you're looking to do a round robin, the league's format right now is probably not the best for you, but our team can definitely take a look. We eventually want to kind of merge leagues and organized play a little bit, so we would be able to do a true round robin and have you report scores that way. Tutorials for leagues after users and admins. Yep, we probably will be putting out more information on leagues tutorials down here down the road. Has upgraded lessons cancellations reason. Currently, they only see a reason to multi-occurrences canceled. I'm not sure I'm understanding that last question. I am going to jump in here to the demo that I wanted to show you guys next. So we've been working on a modern dashboard for a very long time now. And I'm really excited to announce to everybody that it's coming soon. So in here, I have a auto video playing where you can see what this new dashboard looks like and the functionality. So it's definitely an upgrade to the current mobile app setting that we have. And I'm in need of some volunteers here. So as I go through this, you'll see that I'm scheduling a court reservation on here. There's a new court reservation flow that goes along with this modern dashboard too. So I'm in need of some volunteers. So what we want to do is I want to send everybody to the CourtReserve admin community page. If you are interested in demoing this at your organization here in the very near future, go to the Courtman admin community group. If you're not part of the CourtReserve admin community group on Facebook, if you look at the top bar of your CourtReserve schedulers, there's a Facebook icon. Just click that. It's going to direct you right to that community group. Go to that community group and look for the new features webinar. The webinar post that I posted in that community group last night. Go look for that. There's a comment in there. If you just go comment that you are interested in demoing this on that Facebook community group, we're going to select a couple organizations to go ahead and beta this for us here in the next few days. So if you'd like this feature to be added to your organization early, definitely head over there. Just give me a comment. I need to know what organization you're from. So go ahead and just look for that and join that community group and just tell me that you are interested with your organization's name. Very important that you list your organization's name. It's not always easy to tell based on your name what organization you might belong to. So definitely go look for that. But we're very excited to offer this modern dashboard. As you can see here on the court reservation, it's very easy to search for players in the organization. We've also added a feature in here for you to favorite your friends or favorite those players that you play with most. So it's really easy to just quickly select those players, put them into your reservation, agree to those terms and conditions, and check out. And then once you actually get back to your dashboard and pay, or after you paid, get back to your dashboard, you can scroll through. We've got a My Booking section there that lists all of the information about the court. And then as you scroll through, there's more information about leagues. It's easy to opt in and opt out right from there as well, and all of the information. And you can see there's a widget up here. I do apologize. The template that I was using here kind of cut off the top, but it's not cut off when you're actually looking at it on your phone. So it's just the format of when I did my screen record here. So if you're interested in that, definitely go over to that Courtroom admin community group and just add a comment with the name of your organization, and we'll just kind of go through and we're going to pick some folks to go ahead and give this a try for us. Okay, well, Beth, that's all I had today. Were there any other questions?
No questions as of right now.
Okay, perfect. Well, We are going to be posting this webinar. We always post it on YouTube at least 24 hours later. So if you missed the beginning, definitely check out our YouTube channel tomorrow, and we should have that posted at some point throughout the day. Let me just look at that question. Beth, can you read that question for me?
Yeah, sure. It says, is there a chance that CD to separate events to clinics? These are very different, and it's a bit of a problem to have them all together.
Um, so we're separating events to clinics. You can change the name of events to clinics, but we're not able to separate them out. Everything in CourtReserve that is event or clinic related is the same type of thing. You can differentiate them based on types. I might suggest reaching out to our support questions or support channel, because you can actually maybe call them different things with event filters. So you can create yourself event filters and maybe have all of your clinics under one filter and all of your true events under another filter. So I definitely recommend taking a look at that. All right. So I'll also go through the comments. If you are interested and you're not on Facebook, we'll check on here as well in the comments after. I see some of you are not in the Facebook community group on here as admins, or in the admin Facebook community group. So don't worry, we'll check some of the comments in here as well, and look for some of those orgs. So that's all I had today. Thank you guys so much for joining. And if you have any questions, please reach out to our support channel. But we're so happy to have had you guys here today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.